Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler video series videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bit under the weather, so I apologize if my voice is a little bit funky. It's kind of hard for me to tell because even my hearing's a little bit right now. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there and try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm in my back room today, which means we get, boom, Peter Can Thunderbolt poster. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am doing something else. What is it? I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today? It happens to be my Consume the Divide shirt, which I've worn in any number of reviews. I always really like this shirt. But what is Consume the Divide? Consume the Divide is a local metal band out of Illinois that I became aware of. I actually became aware of them a good many years ago. They opened up a show at one point, and I kind of took note of them. But it wouldn't be until several years later when just by happenstance, they ended up headlining a couple shows that I wanted to go see. And then that's when I really got more into their stuff. I met the band members. They were extremely good dudes. And, I just really got into what they were doing. I think they're a phenomenal band. Definitely like a boon to the local music scene. I think they're fucking fantastic. So much so I actually have some videos of performances of theirs that I've attended. Those performances are on the channel, just in case maybe you want to check them out. If nothing else, I'd be more than happy to kind of point you in the right direction as far as their music goes, because I think they're incredible. But anyway, what am I trying for you? Yeah, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Under the weather, eh? So yeah, I have been under the weather off and on for over 2 weeks now. I don't know if I've got the same bug that I had or if I caught something else, but man, I seem to be on the upswing and then just kind of crapped right back out again. So, what with that being the case, I didn't feel like going out and grabbing any food. I was just going to hunker down. But I wanted something that would hopefully kind of get some of the clagginess out of my throat and, help with my sinuses a little bit. So, what did I go over there and dig out from my pantry of many things? Happens to be some boom. This is from Nongshim. This is their Shin Ramyun fiery spicy beef flavor instant noodles. I'm a big fan of the Shin brand of ramen. They're typically like some of my very much go-to ones. And I don't know if this is a new one or just new to me, but I've never seen Shin Red. I usually go with like the Shin Black or maybe even the Shin Gold. But yeah, and I've reviewed lots of instant noodle dishes. I, in fact, have an entire playlist called Ramen Reviews. That's where this review is going to end up. And hopefully it's really good. So I have faith in Nongshim. I think they do a fine job. And this one was just pour in the thing. It had 2 packets of stuff. It's like put 1 packet in, pour in the water, take the other packet, pour it in after you're done with it. So microwave for about 5.5 minutes. And let's get a thing for the thing here. It looks like this. Kind of Let's give it a go. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I like this. Ooh. Yeah, it's got a nice little kick. It's got a nice little kick. It's not crazy spicy. It's not like the Buldak ramens or any of the crazy spicy ones. But it's properly spicy. Like, that has some full mouth heat to it. That's really nice. And then the rest of it, because, like I said, you get 2 packets of seasoning. Usually with the Shin stuff, you just get 1. So I'm guessing all it is basically just whatever they would usually use for, like, the normal non-Shin stuff. And then that second packet is probably the one that adds the spice to it. So the really nice thing for me is that it still has like that like real like depth of flavor um, that that I know as the Shin flavor, like because that's the nice thing about it is like with the difference between something like this and something like a Maruchan or a cup noodles, which are fine, and I certainly I'll go ahead and I'll have those as well. This feels more like a meal, like it. There's a lot, like I was saying, there's a lot of depth to the flavor. There's a richness to it. With cup noodles, with Maruchan, the more basic ones, they're fine. They'll get you by, but they don't. At least for me, they don't really feel filling. They're there as a makeshift option. Whereas with the Shin stuff and some of the other fancier premium ramens, these really do feel like something where you can go over there and you can eat this and actually be pretty satisfied in terms of just having eaten what you just ate. Because yeah, very nice, very rich flavor, has a lot of depth to it, and the flavor carries the whole way. It doesn't feel like it's just a broth thing or whatever. The way it coats the noodles and everything, again, it really does feel much closer to being a meal. And then on top of that, you've got that spiciness. And I mean, it is like I said, I'm not like super. If you want, you could go back and you can watch that playlist I was talking about, ramen reviews. Go ahead and do that. I've reviewed some crazy spicy ramen, and I like spicy ramen, but like the crazy spicy stuff is almost obnoxious. Like for me personally, like I can't typically just eat that just to eat that. I'll do it more as a review or maybe to mix with something. With this is maybe slightly above the spice level that I would say is my general preference, but not enough so that it feels abrasive, and especially given the fact that, like I said, I do feel very claggy on the inside right now. I actually really like this. It's definitely kind of hitting the spot. Yeah, I'm very down with that. But two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Absolutely, and kinda. So for me, like I said, I already have a preference for the Shin stuff. Um, and so, the Shin Black is probably my overall favorite. I do like to have some Shin Gold in there. I like to mix it up a little bit. And especially being the type of person I am, where, quite frankly, I'm just kind of lazy. I don't do a huge amount of cooking. I eat out a lot, or I make things that are, real easy to make around the house. And that's where stuff like this comes into play. And the really nice thing is, that I have like different options available to me, so it's not just, the same thing, because trust me, back before I expanded my palate, it was a lot of just the Maruchan and, stuff like that. Um, this one wouldn't take like the top spot from, again, the more like preferred ones that I have, but I would like to have it in there in that rotation because sometimes I like a spicy ramen that's got some extra kick and it's already got the depth and the complexity that I like from, the Shin stuff anyway. So, yeah, I would be more than happy to tag this one in. Now, that said, if I'm recommending it. So, when it comes to doing the ramen reviews, I always kind of mention, like, there's sort of like two people you can think of when it comes to, like, who might be buying the ramen stuff. You have people like myself who, basically we're just using it as, like, a proper meal substitute. I'm not eating this because I just had to slap something together real quick, in between whatever else I'm doing. It's like no, I'm eating this because I wanted to eat it. Then you have people who are a bit more casual with it. Let's call them actual adults. And for those folks, I don't think I would recommend this. It's a bit too spicy. And I mean, to be fair. But the main thing is like, it is a bigger bowl. It's got a few more components to it. It takes a little bit longer in the microwave. I feel like for those people, it's just probably a little bit too much for it to be worth it for them. Plus the added spiciness that they might not want anyway. Whereas for people like myself, I would definitely recommend it because I think the flavor of it's really nice. I like the spice level. The only barrier to entry in that regard is the spice level. If you're not into spicy stuff, stick to like the Shin Gold. That one's got a really good flavor to it, and it's not really all that spicy at all. So, but 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day. Spectacular rest of the week. Monumental rest of the month. Stupendous rest of the year, folks. Go have yourselves a truly, hopefully you feel better than I do, tastic rest of your lives. Because boy, oh boy, do I feel crappy. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, have you had any of the Shin ramens? And if so, what is your personal preference for them? Like I said, I don't think I've run into one that I've disliked. I think by and large they are, if not my outright favorite company, certainly, amongst the very, very top. I like the bone broth ones I like the bone broth ones a lot. Like I said, the Shin Black's probably my go-to. And if you haven't had them, I highly recommend them. Like, I think that they're just really good. But anyway,